Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. And I decided to go ahead and do, I was thinking about it earlier and I'm like, oh, I haven't done my cards of the month of September. And then I realized I hadn't done August either. So that's uploading now. And now we're on to September. So at the beginning of the year, I do a year ahead spread every year. This year I decided to use my Dreamkeeper's Tarot by Liz Houston. It is a U.S. Games mass market deck. It used to be an independent deck. I mean, it is an independent deck also, but it went mass market as well. And then we have the Pinter Tarot by Los Carabero, and of course for Pinter. So this year I decided to do a little bit different and pull from two separate decks. The year ahead spread. The first few months was kind of weird because I'd say up till May, it was like the positive and negative of whatever the month brought. And then after that, it's kind of melded together to where they're like backing each other up with the same meaning, even though they're two separate cards. So I found that quite interesting that as the year has progressed, the way they line up together have changed. So we'll see at the end of the year what it's like. So I pulled, and I just did August, okay? And I said in that video, and I say in all of these videos, that even though I pull the year ahead spread in January, every single month I am shocked at how well or accurate these cards are. And I don't really pay attention to the cards until the end of the month. And then I go back and reflect and I'm like, oh my God, like that was so accurate. How did the cards know a year ahead of time? It's crazy. But they do. It always works out to where it tells me exactly what I went through in that month, which I find fascinating. Maybe if I paid attention to them more at the beginning of the month, I could kind of prevent some of the things that happen. I don't know. Comment below if you think that's possible. Anyway, without further ado, from the Dreamkeeper's Tarot, I pulled the Four of Swords for the month of September. And then from the Frank Pinter Tarot, I pulled the Five of Pentacles. And this is the card that has been haunting me since I got this deck. This card has haunted me. The Five of Pentacles itself has been haunting me this year. I would say it's funny because last year and the year before it was the Five of Wands, and this year it's the Five of Pentacles. I did a video not too long ago about those fives, all about the fives, because the fives seem to be pivotal for me this year. I don't know why, but no matter what deck I use a deck usually all week long and then I'll switch it out. Somewhere in there, I'm going to pull the Five of Pentacles or the Five of Wands or the Five of Swords. That's been going crazy last couple months as well. So it's weird that the Five of Pentacles just happens to be the card for the month of September. And I find it interesting because I'm pretty sure I've had the Five of something previously. I'm going to look it up real quick here because I write them down and I keep track of them. Your head spread. So, June it was the Five of Cups from the Dreamkeepers. July it was the Five of Swords from the Dreamkeepers. And then this month it's the Five of Pentacles from the Frank Pinter Tarot. So I find that quite interesting that the fives just keep coming up for me this year. I have tried to take a deeper dive into the number 5 itself, and really haven't gotten anywhere. So I need to take a closer look at the number 5 itself. It's not the same number as the Strength card, which is my card of the year, which makes total sense considering the year I've had. So, but that is a story for December. Going into January, we'll talk about that card. But for now, the Four of Swords is all about rest. Taking that break, taking that much needed time off to just be. And I look at the faces in the sky. I've never noticed that before. And that's why I like doing these every month, like a deeper dive into the card of the month, because I always notice something else, something different. And I started my month in September. Today is October 3rd, 2022. I started the month of September. September 2nd is my birthday. Started the month of September resting because I took off a couple of days before my birthday. I took off my birthday, and then the following Monday was a holiday, Labor Day, so we had that off already. So I had like 6 days off in a row, which I needed desperately. I was at a breaking point, kind of, where I was just like, if I continue working like this, I'm gonna be so burnt out. I'm not gonna want to come back to work. And I have people depending on me now. My son works there now. I take him back and forth to work also. So it's a much bigger deal when I take time off now. But at the same time, my body, my mind, everything was screaming, you need to take this time off. And I actually took today off as well. I took last Friday because I found out I had like 7 days left for the end of the year that I had to take vacation time. So I've sprinkled a couple days here and there throughout the year, rest of the year, where I'll lose that time. So, I just find it quite fitting that the Four of Swords came up, needing that rest, needing that downtime. And it's funny because she's actually sleeping, it looks like, in water, which to me is all about emotions and stability, or being stable, or, turbulent waters, whatever. And the water's calm. So it's almost like, and it's nighttime, so it's almost like, you don't need just a rest. You need a good night's sleep. And you need a good emotional balance, stability. There needs to be stability there, which I found quite interesting. That's literally how my month started in September. So now we're moving on to the Five of Pentacles. And I've talked about this card many times, because this is one of the cards in this specific deck that was a trigger for me when I got this deck. And I realized this is a dark deck. This is a deck that needs to be shadow work only. So that's mainly what I use the Ferret Printer for, is shadow work. And I see the Five of Pentacles, we normally see the cathedral, the people outside in the winter weather. They're all broke down, or walking with a cane, or blind, or just bedraggled. But here we're not seeing that. We're actually seeing the inside of the room. And if you look very closely, I know you probably can't see it on camera, there is a person sitting here in the corner. Very small, very tiny, but there's a face here, and then her arms are crossed here. Looks like a girl to me. But I was so distraught when I saw this card. I'm like, she's made it into the room. She actually has a room. And yet there's this total feeling of oppression. She's still in the corner, like huddled up, like she can't believe it's hard to fathom. She's had such a rough go of it that even making it into the warmth of the room, she doesn't believe it. And this card has hit me so strong, and I talked about it in the video I did with the fives. I've been in this situation where everything is fine, everything is okay, but for some reason I still have this oppressed feeling, like any minute the other shoe's going to drop and I'm going to be tossed outside in the cold. That's what I get from this card. And that was, and I said in the previous video, I have some health issues that came up. I'm on trying out different medications for that health issue. Some of the two medications I've tried, they're so potent that I have to wean myself off of them for 2 to 3 weeks before I can start anything else to replace it. But they've also given me very dark, negative thoughts, which I've never had with medication before. And I immediately stopped taking them pills when it started happening. And I knew, the second time I knew this is what's happening. But right around the beginning of September, I had no idea what was happening. And I'm like, what is going on? Until I figured out it's got to be these pills. They made me feel back in like this character, like I'm any minute my whole life is going to fall apart and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Even though everything's fine, everything's normal, everything's the way it normally is. And I just had this overwhelming, most of the month after my resting period, it's the first week, most of the month I spent in turmoil. Like any minute my husband's going to leave me, my kids are going to get hurt, something bad is coming. And I just kept feeling that way. And then I realized it was the medication I was taking. So I immediately stopped taking them. And it took probably 2.5 weeks for my mind to reset itself, to go back to nothing's happening. Nothing bad is going down. But I still felt that way. And I'm just, the fact that this specific card is the one that popped up for September for that reason blew my mind. Blew my mind. So, enough rambling. And if you haven't got the Dream Keeper's Tarot, this book is worth the tarot deck all by itself. I say that every time because this book is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I've yet to find anything in this book I don't love. But let's look at the Four of Swords and see what it says in here. And I turned literally right to it. Crazy. Quite long. Four of Swords, a solitary time of rest after struggle. And I'm going to tell you, when I started taking the medications I was on, I started them in August. So I had a similar feeling in August to this card. So it was hard to kind of take time off and just be and relax. And that was, of course, the beginning of September was that time in between the first medication I took and the second medication I started. So this was my resting period for real. In the twilight, a woman lies half submerged in a forest pond, surrounded by the projection of guardian spirits. The trees, embedded with representations of their elemental spirits, circle around her. In their branches sit spirit animals who also stand watch. 4 black ravens, bringers of magic and symbols of a shift in consciousness. Interesting. A black cat indicating courage to face the mystery. And 2 white doves, symbols of love and peace. 1 raven holds in its beak a halo, a symbol of her wholeness, which upon her waking will be returned to her. The waning cycle of the moon in this peaceful setting signifies a supportive time for response, repose, and healing. In quiet meditation in her stillness, she herself seems to be becoming a prayer, and perhaps to the divine masculine, a divine feminine above her, who watches over her. So the divine masculine and the divine feminine are the faces up top that we see. Beautiful. The Four of Swords points to a rest from struggle and a convalescent period after illness. In this image, there is a sense of isolation. Either she chose it or it was created by external circumstances. And that's kind of where I was in the beginning of September, where I was forced to stop. My body was just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to stop and take a break. So that's quite interesting that that's what comes up. Despite what led to this moment of reclusion, it is best viewed as an opportunity for much needed rest, retreat, solitude, incubation, preparation, and or meditation, which I haven't done, which I've been getting told by guides, spirits, whatever you want to call it here lately. Why aren't you meditating? So that's quite interesting. Considering what ways you may be overwhelmed or overcommitted, it may be the right moment to take some time away to regroup, collect yourself, and reconnect with your internal self. For so many of us, taking a break from the benefit of our own well-being can be a great challenge, both in justifying it to ourselves or others, and in finding the time. Our culture has something of an addiction to busyness, and my brain has that addiction as well, because I can never get my brain to shut up. And many of us derive a sense of importance. Oh, sorry. About knocked you over. Hold on. I did knock it over. Now it's not wanting to stay up. There you go. Through how busy we are. It certainly makes life more dramatic to have many interests, commitments, and a full social calendar. But taken to excesses, this is really not a healthy or life-affirming way to be. Therefore, if there is a sense of depletion, we must look for ways to rejuvenate the mind and body. A vacation may be called for, a meditation practice committed to, calling me out, or perhaps simply a quiet place in order to temporarily escape the pressures of life. Swords as a suit are a symbol of the intellect and often indicate struggle and challenges. Nighttime and water are both symbols of the subconscious, which composes a majority of our mental process. As you rest, pay attention to your dreams and the workings of your imagination. The subconscious mind is capable of solving problems that tend to elude the rational, conscious mind, but it needs adequate space for its insights to emerge. This is the reason that quite often great discoveries and breakthroughs have been made during so-called downtime. True story. Divinatory message. When the Four of Swords appears in your spread, you are being called to take a time out and rejuvenate yourself. Do enjoy this time of stillness, this precious pause in activity while you are able. Practice being still long enough to fill your heart with peace. Rejuvenate the energy of your weary body. Rest your overtaxed mind. Or refuel your depleted spirit. The tasks and responsibilities you stepped away from will still be there when you return, and you will be much better equipped to handle them after a period of rest. Interesting. Keywords: upright, contemplation, quiet, preparation, meditation. Reverse: recovery, healing, revitalization. Interesting. So we have the Ferret Pincher Tarot, and it's just a low Scarabaro little white book, as per usual. And I turned right to that again. Five of Pentacles. Description: a room in disarray with clothes strewn on the floor and signs of heavy drinking. Essence: the Five of Pentacles indicates a lack of resources that can be accompanied by feelings of despondency and hopelessness. And that's how I felt for most of September. Again, it was also medication that did it. In a reading, hard times are ahead. This card often appears when we feel as though we are completely on our own, unsupported by the people and institutions we believed would care for us. It is crucial to remember that even though it may not seem like it, we are never completely alone. And when we feel like an outsider in our community, it may be time to reach out to seek connection and find solace with a new chosen family. Be careful that you are not giving too much of yourself to others. And that goes back to the needing time to rest also. Note the orderliness of the glass and bottle. And I've talked about that in my previous fives video. I'll post that. I'll actually add that in the description box below because I thought it was quite insightful. I had this like epiphany moment with the card. But yeah, this was my cards of the month for September. They're very accurate for how the month went. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And you guys have a good night. Bye.